that tune from Lay Me on the Black Altar when life got cold and cruel and every heartbeat hit me harder. The truth behind the lie was chewing holes inside my chest, talking to myself because my mind would never rest. My bunny days were brittle, but they kept me standing straight, a shaky little lifeline in a world built out of weight. Before the universe exhaled, I held my breath to stay alive, thinking minor keys were fate instead of how I learned to survive. The mimic in my shadow tried to mirror every fear, teach me how to scream without a sound for all those years. But feral little creatures in my ribs refused to drown. The feral pagan daughter in me tore the whole thing down. Broken girl's tale was written in the bruises on my skin, but I kept turning pages even when the plot wore thin. The ones who feel too much kept burning circuits in my head, a high bandwidth cognition in a world that loves the dead. Transitions hit like weather I was never taught to read. Ghosts with unfinished skin kept brushing past my need. Minor keys were crooked maps that dragged me through the dirt, but every wrong direction taught me how to wear my hurt. A bedroom jam was where I learned my voice could still come back. This is who I am was carved from everything I lacked. A disordered world kept spinning, but I stayed inside the ride. And I'm alive, so alive became the place I didn't hide. Resurrection wasn't holy, it was crawling from the floor, arising from the wreckage of the girl I was before. A moment when the minor key stopped dragging me below, and major key stepped in to say, you're not done, now you grow. Truth behind the lie came back and hit me like a fist, talking to myself again, but now I don't resist. Cause every time I faced myself I learned another scar was just a map that pointed to the place where we still are. My bunny heart kept beating even when the world went numb. Before the universe exhaled I swore I'd come undone, but I held on with teeth and nails and every broken part, and found a major key inside the ruins of my heart. The mimic tried to steal my face and wear it like a mask, teach me how to scream became a self-assigned task. Feral little creatures clawed their way up through my spine. The feral pagan daughter said, your pain is still divine. Broken girl's tale kept echoing in every step I took. The ones who feel too much rewrote the ending of the book. Transitions cracked my bones, but they rebuilt me twice as strong. Ghosts with unfinished skin kept whispering, you belong. Minor keys were twisted roads, but I walked every mile. A bedroom jam reminded me my voice was still my style. This is who I am became the anthem in my throat. A disordered world kept spinning, but I stayed inside the night. I'm alive, so alive, hit like a scream against the wall. Resurrection wasn't gentle, it was learning not to fall. We can be was like a dare I threw straight at the past, and hey, you was the echo of a truth I learned at last. That life is not a melody that anyone can steer, but I can choose the key I'm in each time the chords appear. Every song I ever wrote became a weapon in my spine, a story of a girl who learned to walk a crooked line. Who learned that minor keys aren't doomed, their honesty set free, and major keys aren't happiness, they're choosing how to be. And now I spit them back again, not as the girl I used to be, but as the woman standing here because of everything I've seen. Minor keys, they shape me, but they never buried me. And major keys, they taught me how to find